Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda, and in this video training I'm going to talk about the best practices for remote workers. I'm going to teach you how to find the best employer and how to make more money working remotely from home. I'm going to cover 4 things in this training video. The first is how you can start to put yourself out there. The second is how you can start applying for jobs and which websites you can go to start applying for jobs. I'll give you a sense of all the job opportunities that are out there. You'll be surprised at the extent of opportunities that are out there if you know where to look and if you have the right skill set. I'll talk about how to set yourself up for success in a remote environment, including setting yourself up for successful video calls and video conferencing, because I believe that's going to be a new reality in the world that we live in. And finally, I'll teach you how to negotiate with a remote employer so that you can get a fixed number of hours, so you can get stable, predictable income as opposed to just a project here and there. Trust me, you want stable, predictable, recurring income, and I'll teach you how to do that. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. If you are an existing subscriber, welcome back. If you're not an existing subscriber yet, please click the subscribe button, please enable notifications, and please click the like button, because it really helps out the YouTube algorithm, and it's a small thing that you can do to reward YouTube creators like myself. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to talk about how to put yourself out there. If you're looking for a remote job, and if you're looking to get employed by a company that's going to pay you from when you work from the comforts of your own home, there are simple and effective ways to directly put yourself in front of these employers. There are websites like flexjobs.com, there's upwork.com, and there's also a website called Fiverr, Fiverr.com. Now, these are just 3 websites. There are a whole bunch of other websites out there. You need to put yourself out there. Now, the way I want you to put yourself out there is, number 1, definitely have a resume handy. And if you don't have a resume, go ahead and create one. If you haven't created one in the recent past, update your LinkedIn profile, update your Facebook profile, update your Twitter profile. Make yourself more professional, make yourself more presentable, and make sure that when an employer visits your LinkedIn profile, your Facebook profile, your Twitter handle, your Instagram, they see you in a very professional light, because this is what employers are looking for these days. You need to have an email ready to go that simply introduces yourself professionally, but that also includes your resume. So you want to say, hello, I'm interested in this job. It's nice to meet you. I think I'll be a good fit. Please see my resume, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Also, when you put yourself out there, it's not enough to just send one email or to just send one message. You've got to be consistent. You've got to be persistent in following up. You've got to repeat yourself more than once, because the employer that you're reaching out to is going to receive hundreds of applications. So for your application to stand out, you need to do something a little different. I'll give you one big way to set yourself apart when reaching out to potential employers, because remember, these employers are getting hundreds of applications. Your application is not the only one. The best way to get the attention of a prospective employer, of a potential employer, is by communicating with them using more than one channel. It is not enough if you send an employer an email on Monday, you wait for 2 weeks, you never hear back, and you assume that they weren't interested. That is absolutely the biggest mistake you can make. The smarter approach is to send an email to the employer on a Monday. On Wednesday, use another form of contact to reach out to them. And then on Friday, use a third form of contact to reach out to them. Research the employer, find out their LinkedIn profile and message them through LinkedIn. Find out their Facebook profile, message them through Facebook or even Instagram. Get their phone number and give them a phone call. So you could do things like that. Leave voice messages. Be persistent, because the way you get an employer's attention is by consistently reaching out to them, so you set yourself apart. You can go one step further and even send an employer a letter in the mail, because these days not a lot of people actually do regular mail. So that would help you set yourself apart. Just make sure that you get the attention of the employer by going above and beyond what any other person would do. A lot of individuals simply send an email with a resume and then they expect things to happen. What you could do is send an email and say, look, this is the kind of person I am. This is my personality. I love to make people smile. And the last time I made someone smile was, I cooked dinner for my spouse, or, I helped somebody, I helped a neighbor I helped a neighbor do something in their home, whatever. So you now set yourself apart because you're not just another resume in the stack of resumes, in the stack of emails that they get on a daily basis. Be creative, be innovative. I want you to not only work hard, but also think smart with everything that you do when you're looking for a new job. The next step is to now start applying for new jobs. Like I said, there are many websites out there. There's flexjobs.com, there's upwork.com, and there's Fiverr, Fiverr.com. So the interesting thing about all of these jobs is there are many opportunities out there. There are opportunities in web development. There are opportunities in mobile design. So if you know coding, there's an unlimited amount of opportunities out there. If you don't, that's fine. There are jobs in design. There are jobs in writing. There are jobs in administrative work. You could potentially do telehealth services, and you could help a doctor facilitate telehealth services. You could provide you could be a video conferencing specialist where you help clients schedule phone calls, schedule video calls, and then make sure that it's in everyone's calendar. Make sure the technology part of the video call is clear to both your employer as well as their client, so that you are the person in between making sure that those calls are facilitated. You could do customer service, you could do marketing, you could do some accounting. All of these jobs could be done remotely from the comforts of your own home. You could do graphic and web designing. You could do digital marketing. You could do writing and translation if you wanted. You could do video and animation. You could do music and audio programming. You could do work in technology. You could help someone with a lifestyle brand. You could do photography. There are so many things you could do, and really the sky is the limit. There are a lot of opportunities out there. All you have to do is go through these websites and then put yourself out there and start reaching out to potential employers. Now let's get into the third best practice for remote workers and finding the best employer when working from home. I want you to get good at video calls, at video conferencing. This is going to be more and more important in a world where we work from home, because speaking with someone on the phone is good, but being able to see that person on video, being able to essentially see their see their reactions, see their facial expressions, is something that will establish a better connection than just plain old phone calls. Now, I know a lot of us are apprehensive about video phone calls, but I can tell you that being presentable on video is very simple. You need to obviously have a certain dress code. You need to make sure that you look presentable, and you need to make sure you have the correct amount of lighting. That's it. That's all there is to it. You also need to make sure your background is uncluttered, is neat, is tidy, and that's pretty much all there is to it. So you can hopefully find a place in your house where you can look presentable on video, and that's going to be very important whether you're doing video interviews with potential employers, whether you're actually doing video calls with clients, or with as part of the work that your employer does for you. Being good on video, being presentable. Remember, you don't have to have a Hollywood style production element to your videos. You need to be presentable on video. You need to look straight at the camera. You need to speak clearly. You need to have a good microphone. This is extremely important. This microphone that I'm using right here cost me less than $10 from Amazon. That's it. These are the simple things that allow you to be more presentable. And these days, smartphones are very advanced, very sophisticated. You can use something as simple as an iPhone 7 to record your videos. In fact, a lot of you will actually be surprised. This video that you're watching right now is actually recorded on an iPhone 7 Plus. I'm not kidding. I know it's hard to believe, but this video that you're watching right now is being filmed on an iPhone 7 Plus, which is a 5-year-old phone. And you can obviously see the video production quality. You can hear the audio quality. All of this is done with equipment that does not cost several hundred or several $1,000s. So let's get to the fourth point in best practices for remote workers, which in my mind is really the most important thing that all of us need to take into consideration so that we can get a good deal when it comes to remote employees. And this is asking for fixed hours as opposed to just a one-off project. Now, whenever you're doing remote work, you will find an employer who says, I'll pay you X amount for the work done. That's what's called as a fixed project. In other words, you do the job, you get paid, and then that's it. Now you're looking for the next client. You're essentially constantly looking for the next opportunity. You do not want to be in this situation, because the amount of time you're going to spend searching for the next client, doing that small gig and then searching for the next client after that is going to take up a significant amount, or not only of your time but also of your overall productivity. You want to find a small number of customers, maybe 1, 2 or 3 customers, that give you a consistent amount of work, that give you a consistent number of hours, so that you now have predictable, reliable income. The way to long-term financial success is to have predictable, reliable income. You do not want situations where you do one job and then you're looking for the next job and then the next job after that. You're constantly going to be jumping from one client to another. And for all of you independent contractors out there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You would be best advised if you find 1, 2 or 3 clients who give you a set number of hours. So let's say client A gives you 10 hours a week, client B asks you to work 20 hours a week, and client C asks you to work another 10 hours a week. That gives you a 40-hour work week right there. In fact, if you're looking for more business, if you're looking for more revenue, take on more clients, work a 50, maybe even a 60-hour week if you have a lot of bills to pay. But make sure you end up creating relationships with clients who will give you a consistent amount of work, because in general, these clients are looking for sustainable, predictable, high quality staff members, and once they find that in you, they probably won't let you go as well. So you want to be able to make yourself attractive, more employable, if you will, to potential employers, so that they can give you a set number of hours, and you don't necessarily have to work in one job full time. You can actually work in 2 or maybe 3 part-time jobs, all of which are remote, because a lot of us do that in our day-to-day lives anyway. So when you go and look for jobs at these job listing sites I mentioned, or for that matter any other online marketplace, you need to keep in mind that you should be looking for employers who give you a fixed number of hours. It actually doesn't matter how many hours they want to give you. One employer gives you 5 hours a week. You need to say, look, I need a certain number of hours per week, and you can give me the work that fits my job description within those hours, and I'll do it. So you need to be flexible, and you need to find those types of employers. That'll save you a lot of time, a lot of energy. Now, does that mean you'll immediately have 40 hours, 50 hours a week from the get-go? Probably not. You'll probably start at 5, maybe 10 hours a week. Then hopefully a few weeks later, you'll be at 20 hours a week. A few weeks later, you'll be at 30 hours a week. That's going to help you much more over the long term than just bouncing from one client to another. Now, am I saying that you should not do sort of gig work? You should not do these small one-off contracts? Absolutely not. You can do a little bit of everything. After all, you need to be able to do whatever it takes to pay your bills, and something that matches your job description, something that matches your skill set. I get that. But I want you to transition towards consistent, reliable, predictable work, so that you have reoccurring revenue. You need consistency of revenue, because that will give you a level of financial freedom that's really hard for me to explain. And once you experience it, you'll realize that that's the only way to go, because now you know how much money is coming in consistently, and therefore you can plan and budget all of your expenses, and you can then hopefully have some money saved aside at the end of the day as well. I hope you learned something new from this video. If you did, please click the like button. That's one small thing that you can do for me that would mean a lot to me. Also, please click subscribe, and please enable notifications so you can get an instant update for future videos that I release. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please type them in the comments section below. I really appreciate you watching. I hope you got some new ideas. We will get through this, and I'll see you in the next training video. Thanks.